Claire, and it's today. So I'm smoking a joint on the Statehouse steps in Concord, New Hampshire for my amusement and yours. Well, actually, I'm in front of the bell because it's way too hot in the sun. So we're gonna step here into the shade where there's this baby bird, actually. Now we found his mom, and maybe I'll see the nest, and it's a pretty climbable tree. So I think we'll be able to figure out how to get him home carefully. And mommy's right here. So now that the important things have been gone over, like baby birds and sun and joints on the Statehouse steps, I wanted to talk to you about some things that I found really interesting today. One of them really being the reason why I feel like I have the free time to make a video. Being emotional responsibility, and also taking a total break, a total rebellion against responsibility. And then the other thing was nicotine and money, and where they are evil and where they are beautiful and important. So first of all, total rebellion of responsibility. So I have decided that I'm not paying my cell phone bill. I can't bring myself to do it because I have been a responsive single parent for I think the better part of my life now. And the responsibilities that are laid on us as people is just absurd. So I didn't answer my phone for a whole weekend and just sat and watched a dog and did nothing. And well, I mean, I worked out and I stretched and then I slept and I ate and I fasted and spend some time just looking at how I want my life to be. And not letting things bother me. Things bother me. There are things in my life that are really bothersome when I focus on them. But I don't use them as an excuse. I don't use the people that I love, or people that especially people I don't like, but people that I love, that as an excuse to be miserable. You just don't do that if you want to be happy. And you are missing out on what is there for you when you're focusing on what is not there. It's not that you're alone and misunderstood. It's just that we've been looking for company and understanding in all of the wrong places. So by taking a break from the phone, from meeting people's expectations and not letting it bother you, that it might bother them that you're not available for them. You don't have to tune into their selfishness in order to not be selfish. That's a double entendre people don't understand that they're doing when they're placing demands on your time. So I have the time to be here today and focus on how I want my life to look. Part of that being right here, right now, talking to you about my own emotional responsibility. Not yours, mine. And if you can take something from that, it would be wonderful. Besides smiling at me smoking a joint on the Statehouse steps, which is something that me and people that I respect very, very much. Put a lot more into being here and making it so we can be left alone and smoke joints, even though it's not technically legal yet. But it doesn't really have to be. There's all kinds of really silly things. Like there was a law before this activist went down there. They repealed it. It was illegal in New Jersey to wear your bathing suit on the boardwalk. You had to cover up. Nobody even knows that that's there. And Massachusetts has a whole bunch of them. One of them being it's illegal to go to church without your gun. One of them being it's illegal for women to drive unless her husband is waving his hands in front of the vehicle. So we don't have to take those laws off the books because they're ridiculous. So maybe we can make our medicines and the way that we wear our bodies the same way. Maybe we can just make it a thing that we do. And we don't need a book to tell us what's right and wrong. Maybe that will happen someday. I really think it will. So nicotine and money. So I came down with vertigo from the stress. It's a thing that's common in 50-year-old women, and that's really all that they know about it. It's not very understood. We do know a couple of things, that there's a level system inside of your ear, and it works with liquid, and there's crystals, and they came dislodged, and they so I was waking up with the ceiling on the floor so that I wasn't functioning, and I found nicotine to be very soothing while this was happening. I did some research on vertigo and nicotine. I found nothing because they don't know too much about it. However, I've looked up the health benefits of nicotine, and I found a whole lot. Actually, I found that nicotine is a neuron stabilizer, and it helps prevent Alzheimer's, and it showed promise in helping schizophrenics stabilize, who are 25% more likely to smoke than the rest of the population. So believe it or not, we are self-medicating ourselves, and there's nothing wrong with nicotine. And I know this from experimenting with my own body, where I was hooked on Hyde vapes, and when I couldn't find my vape, nothing else could get done, and I couldn't care about anything else. And then I got into what is called now Habe, is an all-natural nicotine powder coming right from the plant. They use it, the shamans use it in the rainforest. It's a very old traditional medicine, and they use a pipe and right up your nose, so it doesn't touch very much on the way into the brain, where it has its beneficial effects. And I found that to be not only more effective, but when I ran out, because you can't just buy it at a store, I have to order it online right now, so it happens. It's not a big deal. It's not any different than when I run out of pot. It's not any different than when I run out of coffee. Like, I really like it. Like, it can be really obnoxious, but it's really not a big deal. And so the natural nicotine is not the same thing as the what's in those Hyde vapes and your Marlboro. So there's nothing wrong with nicotine, and there's nothing wrong with our money. That money is actually a higher power that humans have. It's based on trust. It's based on community. It's based on agreeing on value and waiting your turn. These are things that give us the dominion over animals. The fact that we can think ahead, and we know that we can wait and save. These are good things. But our money, that the dollar, that is still the dollar that was originally backed by freedom and the idea of more than what we see, and the belief and symbols and meaning in life. We used to call it God. Now that's been corrupted, just like our cigarettes and our money. But it's still, we're still doing the same thing. So, one more thing. So 0, 7 zeros. That was once the password for the doomsday button when we had that. And nobody pressed that. I mean, granted, we didn't have password hacks like we do today, but that's besides the point. More than one person had that. It was, how could you not tell the joke about that? Like, nobody wants to press that button. It's totally against our nature. If you take over a country, you get to be the guy that took over a country. If you press the doomsday button, there's nobody to tell. There's no country to have. There's nothing. So it's not in our nature to end the game. So everything's fine, and it continues to be fine. So yeah, emotional responsibility. Don't let the people that you love be an excuse to make you miserable, and don't allow them to write your story with their expectations of what you should be. Release them from the responsibility of being the one to make you feel good. That's your job, and wear it well. You don't have to take it, but that's the only way. And understanding value, understanding medicine. So that's a whole lot of different things that we went over. But none of that really matters nearly as much as finding this little baby bird his nest. Yeah. And even when everything is, when I couldn't afford a coffee, I thought about, well, a coffee isn't that hard to afford. It's not too far off that I'm going to get a coffee. And it's just that the next thing is just never that far away. Like, the reality that you see in front of you is nothing more than old news. It's a blank canvas. It's whatever you want it to be. Our reality really just needs a little bit of fine tuning. There's really nothing wrong here. Everything is fine. Well, have a beautiful day, and well, it looks like our baby bird found her way home. That's great. Okay, bye.